everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach. I want to invite you to our master class and teach you the Pom Pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind, so you can come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. What is that master class going to do for you? It's going to help you create your Black history success story. I'm going to teach you how to create consumer debt freedom, earn an 800 credit score. I'm going to teach you how to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. I'm going to teach you how to create passive income of $8,333 a month by acquiring businesses, acquiring real estate, and leveraging the tax laws. I'm also going to throw in our family finance one-on-one course, 3 hours, 18 modules. I'm going to give you our best-selling book, ABCs of Wealth, the common sense strategy of achieving American dream. And as a special bonus, I'm going to give you 3 consultations live with DJ the Money Coach, Melvin Hobson, our registered investment advisor of 18 years, and James Lane Jr., our CPA over 7 years. And all you have to do is say, get me free to create Black history with DJ Money. That's right. Get me free to create Black history with DJ Money. Hit the link and you get over $3,000 worth of value for less than $200 to celebrate Black history, and come join me on the Beaches of the World Club with DJ Money in the master class.
Untitled Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com. Promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. I guess you could call this season 2. It's been a while since we had the ladies on, and we have some new ladies joining the panel. So before we even get into the topic, we'll have the ladies reintroduce themselves. But first of all, as always, like the video, share, and subscribe to the 7 Spheres of Money on YouTube so we can reach 1,000 subscribers and, spread the gospel of the Pom Pom lifestyle, plenty of money, peace of mind, and also this real talk that you're about to get from these real Black women. So let's get into the introductions, and then we'll get into the topic. So let's start off at the top. I'm looking at the boxes up here, so I'll start off the top, on my left. So we'll start with Queen Astoria there.
I always gotta go first. Well, you guys should already know me, but Queen Astoria, Miss Story, whatever you want to call me, whatever works best for you. Hairstylist, barber, educator, Reiki, spiritual guide, all of those good things. That's me. And yeah, I ain't changed since the last time. I'm the radical one.
And let's go to the other Houston sister over there, Miss Brooke Sinclair.
Brooke Sinclair, CEO and founder, Black tech startup of Valorant, supply chain expert turned founder. Glad to be here.
Oh, wait, hold on. Brooke, you better do your introduction over. Do it the right way.
The long one?
You better introduce yourself the right way. Stop playing, Brooke.
The short one. Okay. Brooke Sinclair, CEO and founder of Valorant. We're the sustainable supply chain solution for the import-export industry. We're making it easier for retailers outside of America to buy from manufacturers inside of America and then watch their products arrive from any smartphone or web device. Similar to the concept of Drizzly, Uber Eats, DoorDash, but for commercial retail and for across borders. So our slogan is, don't just import it, Valorant.
That's what I'm talking about. See?
That's the intro we needed.
Yeah, that's the one right there. That is the one.
Thank you.
Let's go down to my fellow Jersey sister, Nisha.
Hey.
Jersey. Hello, everybody. I am Nisha Howell, entrepreneur. I am more so known for my the business and selling on Amazon as a third-party seller on Amazon. I have another e-commerce store. I run a pet store for dogs and cats, Little Paws Kingdom, and I also coach and mentor as far as e-commerce and reselling goes. So, just happy to be here.
Okay. And last but not least, the newest member of the DJ the Money Coach team. The one that's been working the magic behind the scenes. You heard about her, but now you get to see her face.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Ms. Khadirah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Khadirah Muhammad, Systems Implementation Engineer at Omnipotent Marketing, CEO and owner, helping service-based businesses be able to automate, systematize, and bring processes into their businesses so they can scale to 7 figures. And lovely member of the DJ, the Money Coach team for the past few months. Absolutely enjoy it and happy to be here.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, for being here. So let's get into this topic. So at the time that this show is airing, it is the weekend/week of love. So you got Black Love Day on February 13th. And then, of course, you got Valentine's Day on the 14th. So the topic for this conversation is the realities of Black love, social media versus real life. And this is the topic that you all ladies came up with. I forgot which one of you came up with
Collective. I think.
Yeah,
Right. That's what I was saying.
So I say, why don't we start off with you all kind of laying the foundation and discussing why you all discussing this topic and why it's important. I'm just going to sit back at this point because it's all about the ladies. I'm just the technician. I just click the buttons in the background and just throw it off the backboard for them. So y'all go ahead and take it over. Do what y'all do.
Always a sports reference.
Right?
Yeah, that was a sports reference.
I understood after saying it's always a reference.
Who's starting? It ain't me, because I always go first.
You start. Well, I will say I wanted to discuss it because Black love exists. Like Black love still exists. And I feel like so often like we see it mainstream, like, some couples and stuff like that, and from Hollywood or whatever, but like there's some amazingly beautiful Black on Black relationships where we're supporting our men are supporting us, we are uplifting each other, we're healing one another, we are taking time to really get to know each other. And I think so often it's overlooked because we get a bad rap, like in the media in general. So it just looks like it's always like domestic violence and ugly and, not what other couples look like in love, but like it exists for us, and it's gorgeous and it's beautiful, and you can feel the love off of it when you see it, So that's why I wanted us to discuss the topic.
Yeah. And something else with it too is like the poor portrayal of Black love is monetized. And that's why it's promoted as much, because you can sell that. We can sell the miscommunication, we can sell the disrespect, we can sell the abuse, whether physical or verbal or emotional, that gets sold to us. And so, our outrage is the product of us buying into what's being sold to us.
Right.
So all the good that really goes about, all the positive traits, which are tremendous and very much outweigh the negative, gets pushed down because you can't make money off the positive as much as you can off the negative.
Right. Agreed. It's the like the Jada and Will scandals and all that other good stuff that comes along.
Right.
Every month, some Jada doing something. Well, Will says something, some interview.
I'm gonna take it further than that. I think it's the Tyler Perrying of like
light skin, dark skin.
Gotta get married. That all that, just like all
the whole thing.
The whole
The baby mother, Byron,
Diary.
all that.
Yeah.
All of that. Like,
All that.
And it's the caricature of the Black, the worst traits of a Black woman all up in one.
Yep.
The Medea character or whatever character is on the Medea show or whatever it is. And that's what you see, so that's what we think it is. And then unfortunately, that's how other people start to see us in other cultures and other races, other nationalities, ethnicities, whatever you want to say. That's how they see not even just Black people, now it's Black American women, Black American men, and our relationships with each other in here in America.
Yeah.
It's always something.
And even now, taking it a step further after Astoria. So now there you do see a whole lot more interracial couples on commercials. All of a sudden, everybody is interracial. Like, what? And it actually, people on Twitter, I was telling y'all about that Twitter space where we, did like 22,000 people. Like, we've just been out there talking about, all these different things, these different portrayals, helping people understand that just because you see it on TV doesn't always mean it's true.
Right.
Most times it's not. Most times it's a gross exaggeration of what the actual facts.
You don't get the whole picture. You know what I mean? Like when they just perspective, where they just show you that corner of it. And if you look at the whole big picture, it's like it's a whole different scene or context if you get all of it.
Yep, for sure. I think it's so I follow a lot of people that are in these interracial relationships because I like to hear them talk about different things. And so I had one a guy spoke out actually, and he said that what he finds, I think he's a therapist, I'm gonna say this, I think, but what he said was he finds that the reason why more African women, I'm not speaking in the sense of like traditional Black woman, but like an African woman would be with a white man, and I'm not talking about white American, I mean like European cultured or whatever, is because they have traveled and they have been around other experiences, right? And so to them, they don't see the color that we see here in America in a certain sense, right?
Because they're worldly.
Huh?
Because they look at worldly.
They see it more worldly, right? And I agree with that because I remember when I went to Paris for the first time, and for me, I was offended when I went to a hair show. Now, y'all, like ain't nothing but African people, and they come in droves with suitcases to get products because they don't have Walmart or Target, so you have to like kind of put that in perspective. But one of the booths was set up like literally like an Uncle Tom, like the dude was like sweeping, like we was outside and it was like a hee ha ha thing, like we was kind of like sharecropping type of thing. But so to me, I was offended. I was like, how the hell, like I'm confused. But to them, Africans, they're like, we're not taught that. We don't know nothing about what y'all talking about over there. All we know is y'all left, and this is what they told us. We don't know nothing else.
That's what they know.
Travel and become cultured or see something differently, they don't know. Which is why African women or have traveled or been cultured. Even I know some Black women that's in interracial relationships, but they're not with traditional European men. They are with like a French person or someone in a sense. They're more cultured. And so they treat their love a different type of way because they see things differently than the way we see it. So put it out there that way. That was really interesting when he said it that way. I was like, okay.
All right.
Perspective.
My brother's married to a white woman. And I just, I mean, but that's like here in the States, you know what I'm saying? And so it's not that same type of thing, but like, I'll be transparent. I just believe he's always just had difficulty. We grew up in a very predominantly white neighborhood, and Nick knows I grew up in Maplewood, New Jersey. So especially coming up then, like we were the second or third Black family on our block. So I kind of wasn't surprised, you know what I'm saying? That what, for him to be in an interracial relationship. I remember in the 80s, like when he entered into his first interracial relationship, like his window was broken, like all kinds of stuff. He wasn't allowed at his girlfriend's house. Like, you can't bring that Black boy here. And this was, you know what I'm saying? Like my brother's 7 years older than me. So like, I think he graduated 80 something, you know what I mean? Like 80 something, late 80, 89 or something like that. So it was a lot for it. So like it was like, then it wasn't accepted, but I feel like he's just kind of always felt like we were like, you know, the normal that we get, like tougher to deal with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just maybe, you know, a lot of mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like too much. That's what I get from the situation versus, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
You mean
if it
like
was just,
women, like Black women are a lot of mouth? Is that what?
like, yeah, like us, like just too much. Like he had an incident, I don't know, and really don't care. He had an incident like at a movie theater or something, like where, and he was like embarrassed. Like she was just too, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, you mean she stood up for herself? Like she got everybody together? Like back then, it wasn't getting people together, but like, what do you mean? But like, I don't know, it ain't for everybody. So it's just, it's a
You know,
difference. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I can't, I can't explain it really. I just, on the outside.
I find that interesting, but also common.
Oh, heck yeah.
I mean, you know, so common, and it's I mean, it has to have a lot to do with us being enslaved and having this new life, you know, where we're I mean, we're not even really free, but you know, you got the word free-ish, like kind of, sort of, you know, comme ci, comme ça, c'est same French, you know, but like, we're not really there. We're not really there. And so, but we still have this growing disconnect between the Black man and Black woman. And it's almost like we resent each other for our position that we didn't put our entire self into, you know, like we didn't put ourselves in that position of, you know, wherever we're at, but we still resent each other for being in that position, you know, resenting the Black woman for having to maybe have to be in her masculine a little bit more. Because of what happened to you as a Black man, which wasn't your fault. And it's not necessarily our fault as to why we have to play that role, but we still get resented for that. And then we may resent the Black man for being in his position, not having the same opportunities, yet we still want you to figure it out. And we're still being, you know, socially conditioned to think of you a different type of way. And it's just this kind of circle thing. And we look at these, and then opposites attract. And so that be a reason why you may consider another race to be more attractive, because you resent your own race due to a situation that they didn't even put themselves into.
Yeah, that's some healing that we got to do. But go ahead, Brooke. I ain't even going.
Yeah, Brooke raised her hand.
No, because I was like,
Brooke raised her hand. So
you know,
I
saw that too. I saw.
She did it good. Usually, last time she was here, when she was trying to be polite.
I mean, very, very, very polite. She waited 2 hours.
Polite. I was waiting for you to call on her, Khadirah. I thought you were going to be like, Brooke. Now.
When I saw it, I almost started laughing. I'm like, let me get this out. So
I lose my train of thought.
I was like, I didn't want to laugh. She been serious.
Yeah.
Right. No, you brought up a very good point. So talking about after slavery, really, you have to come forward a little bit and really think about all the massacres. So when, you know, Rosewood, Tulsa, Central Park. So, you know, in New York, where Central Park was, used to be a Black city. There are places
Philly.
Right. There you go.
Everywhere.
Underwater, you know? And so it seems like we did have our own places. We had, in fact, I just heard another story today about a lady, an author, a Black author, and her grandfather or great grandfather was in Little Rock, Arkansas. And he worked as a bellhop or a maitre d' at a hotel on the white side of town. But he took that money from the white side of town and had a mansion and a hotel and some other businesses that he owned on the Black side of town that they tore down to make expressways.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, right? So when you think about that, we would have had camaraderie. We would have had more unification between each other, our sexes, or the sexes, and then fast forward even more, thinking about when they started building the projects and building out the welfare system, then they would tell the Black women, well, if you have a man there, then you can't
get the money.
Ain't getting no
Right.
money. They still
And
told
really
that now.
did inspections, like really did inspections and stuff like that, coming to make sure there was no Black man in the house. Like, y'all are.
They're incentivizing the fragmentation of the Black family.
The total destruction.
Well, the goal has always been to destroy the Black family. That ain't never been not the goal. It's always been the goal. And so I know we're moving forward, but I'm gonna go take a step backwards so I can go with my point so you can see what I'm saying. So think about slavery time, right? These are healing some trauma that we gotta heal from. You carry everything from your ancestors. You just we are now in a space where we're remembering, right, who we really are. Because right. But basically think about when the slave catcher went and got the man or whatever, because he decided he was gonna run away. What did he do? He brought everybody out, his wife included, and his child, and
watch him.
Made her watch him be beat, right? Basically, you basically showed her he ain't man enough to take care of you. He can't do nothing no way. So now logical thing happening, right? Of saying, I have to take care of me. I have to take care of my kids. I have to take care of my family. I can't depend on a man to do nothing because he can't do anything. And we literally just continue to pass this thing over and over. And now it looks a little bit different, right? Instead of when we did go through Reconstruction or whatever, you know, that time period, we were still dealing with those traumas, right? On top of just being free, trying to figure it out, building what we need to build, trying to heal our families if we could heal our families, right? Or finding our people, whatever. And then you burn the shit down and make us start all over again. Then,
over and over again.
Top of that, say, oh, well, y'all can't vote, y'all can't do none of this right here. Oh, y'all can't work, y'all can't do this right here. Oh, y'all can't do this. Like, you literally putting trauma on top of trauma, on top of trauma, on top of trauma, on top of trauma, and passing it through generation to generation to generation. And ain't nobody breaking none of these curses. Like, no, we ain't even scratched the surface. Yes, we have good love, but like, are we really having these type of conversations with our partners about how do you really feel? Is it a safe space for me to be able to talk to you about what I feel? Which is why I could say I would never be married to anybody outside my race because you don't understand my trauma.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't feel my trauma. You can't feel my pain.
That was such.
I can't.
That is such a good point. Oh my God. Because it would never have been enough for them to just physically kill us or just. When I say just, I mean, it's not just, but you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
It could never be enough just to kill him, just to murder him, just to dismember him. You have to totally destroy the emotional, psychological image of the Black man, his position, his power, his dominion, his role, his responsibility, his abilities, his godlikeness in our minds. Because as women, we are the gatekeepers of the next generation. Okay, not just because of our physical abilities to create life and have be able to give life, but also our nurturing aspects of it, because we are the primary caretakers of children, you know, pretty much for the rest of their life. I mean, the father, obviously the fathers are incredibly important. I'm not saying they're not, but we're absolutely the primary caretakers. We're the nurturers, we're the first nurses. And honestly, when children are small, they don't know anything. To them, mom is God until mom teaches them different. And so that is so much power given to her. But when you strip her of her natural protector, her provider, the person who's supposed to give his own life to save his own family and do all those things, and the person who's given that responsibility and that authority and whatnot, when you destroy that image, like you said, her natural reaction has to be, I gotta take care of my child because that's her responsibility. And that's psychological. I mean, we carry that. We carry our children before they're even born.
Yep.
It's already in us. That's why you don't bring bad news to a pregnant mother. You don't take them around funerals. You don't. I mean that's in us. That they're really already here. We're born with the children that we potentially are gonna have.
Yeah.
Already, and they just kind of over time, after it just takes time, obviously, for the real one to come get here. But we're already born with their makeup. Half of their makeup is already here. It's waiting for the other half at that point.
Exactly.
But when that doesn't get, I mean, how do you heal almost 500 years of absolute torture?
500 years plus.
Plus, because I ain't stopped. Because now the torture look different. Now we film the torture. Now it gets shared.
You see it.
Now it's posted forever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are modern day lynchings and what is it called? Snuff films? Of our own people.
And the fact that we're numb to it, like we are numb to seeing it. We just, it's like, oh,
it's regular.
Another Black man got killed. Like, no, another Black man didn't get killed. I am traumatized. Okay, I'm not watching the movie. I'm not watching the video.
I can't.
I can't watch any of it.
I can't handle it. Yeah.
I talked to my son about it and everything like that, and just the importance, because he just turned 16, and I'm like, yo, listen, you're not even who you think you are, young Black man. Like, you walking around here like everything is all honky-dory, and it is not. I don't want you to live your life like, like you got to be scared and everything all the time, but watch your walk. And I'm sorry I have to say this to you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this free-ish country.
Yeah.
So it's like,
right?
Free to y'all.
We went off on a tangent. We did.
We did. I'm gonna bring it back.
The whole thing, though.
Hey, we're bringing it full circle, right? We got to bring it.
It's all connected, right?
It's all connected. We're gonna bring it full circle.
Yeah.
With saying that we have trauma that we had to build on, that we're unpacking, and so until we unpack the trauma, right? What we see on reality TV, our social media as love, this is us trying to replace what we think love is actually supposed to be, right? I was really talking about what love is, or do we have the capacity to love, or to show love, or those type of things. We just like, ooh, you know what? I wish my man would do that, buy me some flowers and do all of this. Okay, but what he really doing at home though? Like, he bought you that house and he bought you.
Let's talk about it.
But is he at the house? Are you alone? Is you lonely?
Hello.
Where's the intimacy? And I'm not talking about and I ain't talking about sex. I'm saying, where's the intimacy? And I ain't
no, that's what serious.
Yeah.
That's it.
Somewhere else.
That is all connected, honestly, because we can't even talk about our future without really understanding our past anyway.
At all.
To me, love in the simplest terms is the execution of obligations. It's when you're doing something. And you're doing something for the other person. Mm-hmm. To me, I think it's the performance of duty, it's the execution of obligation. When you take on this responsibility of saying, I love you to somebody, it's a responsibility attached to that. So if you're trying to perform your responsibility, you have to know who this person is. Right. And you got to understand why they are to the best of your ability, right? You have to try to understand, try to, because everything that we do is rooted in what's happened to us. Mm-hmm. We're not in some, bubble where it's like, I'm me just because of how I was born. That's it. That's the only thing. No.
I think we're learning to ask better questions though. Like, you see people like, you need to really kind of unpack who else, who you're trying to get involved with. Like, what was, like, what was things like in your household, like growing up? Like, how were your parents? How did your parents treat one another? You know what I mean? Like even like, are your parents still together? Things like, things like that. Mm-hmm. Like certain people do certain things for their wives every week. Like, you may hear certain stories for that. Like, okay, like, how is this man, what has he been privy to as far as treating a woman? And likewise, like, did your mother, bring your father his plates? Did your mother, you know what I mean? Like
We
what,
not
like
doing
certain things, like, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I mean? Like things, you know what I mean? Things of that nature, just to like, I'm not saying all that story, but you know what I mean? Like to figure out like what the nurturing aspect of it was. And I can't with story, but
No, it's
No, we were
the whole
listening.
like nurturing. I'm a nurturer, so like I want to know like how you were cared for. Like, are you gonna? How did you care? How was your mother cared for? Like, what were things like that in your house? What would I expect? What do I mean, I think about like also having a son still. Whatever man that I invite into my life is going to be a role model for my son. So it's like, how's that exactly? You know what I mean? Like, how's that gonna go? What could you?
no, Brooke's face when we said that.
She said, yeah.
That was fire. I really agreed to it. She said, but I love that.
Yeah. I think we see a lot. I don't think like what we see on social. I think it's starting to. I think we're starting to see a lot more healthy Black relationships. I think because these things are starting to happen, because we are starting to have these conversations, we do have the awareness of like, you know what I mean? Like of the oppression, everything that's been going on with us for years. I think now that like Story said, like we're starting to unpack that. I think it's the uprise of the healthier Black love. Like, I think we are on, you know what I mean? Like we're definitely headed in the right direction. Everything that we see isn't all true, but I think we're getting closer, you know?
Show ain't, honey. Because they show be looking like they real happy and cozy and cutty on social media, and you
hate each other.
You be like, why you talking to her like that? What is wrong? What is
right.
What happened to Instagram? Y'all just posted
y'all was all snooky booky on IG. We could scroll.
The IG.
You know,
It's different for IG.
Nisha.
What? Oh, I thought you said my name. I was like, what?
Oh no, I did. I was just gonna say the part when you were saying we're asking better questions, which are incredibly, everything you said are absolutely great questions to ask somebody that never get asked. And I really understand that because so I'm Muslim and I was born Muslim. So I was raised Muslim by my parents. And so how they got married is much different than, I assume it's much different than most people. Because we go through a courtship process. If somebody, if you're Muslim and you're trying to get married, you decide to get married to somebody, or you're interested, you go through a courtship process. And the whole purpose of it is to figure out if y'all are compatible for marriage. So it's usually incredibly short. You don't go into it without trying to actually get married. And it's a whole series. It's a lot into it. It's the introduction of families. You meet the exes, you meet the children. You bring all that in. Y'all face is crazy. But you bring all that in because I'm telling you, if you ever want to get married to a Muslim, because you will get married to somebody. But we ask all of these questions up front. Nothing's off the table. You ask what you want because there's protection with the women, and that's why it's handled the way it is. There's a protection with the women and the men, so that way you can ask these questions and you're allowed to be discreet. You ain't got everybody in your business, but you do have people on your side, that will make sure that you're protected and you're in a safe space where you can give this information and not have your business out there. And so you ask questions, were your parents married? How long were they married? How did you grow up? What's your opinion of how you grew up? Did you ever face abuse? What did that look like? Real deep stuff, way up in the beginning, from the first day if you've been born to. And it's really important, I think. I didn't realize how much people didn't really ask those questions because they would be, together for years. And you find out like year 5, the person don't want to have children. And I'm just like,
yeah,
happened.
Right.
And I'm thinking it's a little bit more obvious. But I'm like, well, if you want to have children, why would you not mention that maybe?
Brooke.
It has to be the first day. What'd you say?
Brooke was trying to mute herself again. I want to hear all her antics, everything.
We want to hear everything. No, because you did that a lot last time. And I know you cracking yourself up over there. And I be wanting to know. Right. I want to be in your business.
I want to be in your business.
I'm just letting you know. I'm very honest. I wanted to be in your business.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, you asked all those questions up front, and I didn't realize that people didn't really do that until, I just became an adult. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Because I would just, it's uncomfortable, but I guess it's depending on why you want to be in a relationship. I would think if it's long-term and you want it to be serious, you kind of have those, you ask those pertinent questions. If you want to get married, how long? When do you want to get married? Inside of a year, 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5 years? Because that determines what's going to happen.
Right.
If he says, I'll think about it later, and you like, well, I'm getting married next year, this is a disconnect, it's probably not going to work. You should probably ask that up front if that matters to you,
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. After this message, stay tuned.
Hey, I chose to rock with DJ the Money Coach because he gave me, during our complimentary consulting session, he gave me 3 things that I think is going to be game changer. 1, he gave me an action plan to increase revenue in my business. 2, he gave me 2 conferences that I'm going to attend that I know are going to be game changers in my business for networking. And 3, he gave me an action plan to pay down debt, save, so that we can buy properties and it won't put a strain on our household. So that's why I rock with DJ Money.
Hi everybody, my name is Altavis F. Fleary. I am a notary and loan signing agent. I'm currently working with DJ the Money Coach on setting up my financial business strategies for my business operations. So far, DJ's been great. He gives great advice, and I'm looking forward to continue to work with his team and making sure that we set me up for the near future. Thanks again, DJ.
How do you, I don't know, I don't want to sound ignorant, like naturally fall in love if it's in the, you know what I mean? Like, is it arranged?
That's a good question. That's a good question. The purpose isn't necessarily to fall in love. That's not necessarily the purpose in the beginning.
Okay.
When you're asking these questions and you're going through the process. Some people fall in love and they reach that level, but it's also very normal to not necessarily be in love when you get married. At least in a Muslim household.
In a Muslim setting, yeah. That's really interesting.
You kind of just, in our opinion, we grow into the love based on the foundation that you have.
Gotcha.
And based on the compatibility and your willingness to go through this with this other person, that's where you can kind of gain, in our opinion, like true love, deep love. You're striving for the same thing because you have the same goal in mind, you have the same desires, you ideally follow the same culture. But yeah, I know couples that have been married very long, decades, happily married. They weren't necessarily in love when they got started. They didn't really start getting into love till maybe year 2, year 3 or something.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How do they meet though? I mean, like, is it like, oh, I see him across the room and then he sees me and then we talk to our aunties and then our
that actually is true. You can see each other in mosque. A lot of times it's online. Hey, you see it like that. And what happens is, this is what's supposed to happen. I'm giving you the supposed to. So if the man or the woman could see the, man that you're interested in, you would talk, if it's the man, you would actually speak to her father or whatever male person is in charge of taking care of her. So if it's not her father, it could be an uncle, it could be somebody else in the mosque, but that man is in charge of making sure that she's taken care of. He's in charge of making sure that whatever individual man is interested in her, he vets him, make sure, okay, do you check all the regular boxes? Who are you? Where are you from? You got a job? How many jobs? Are you staying with your mother? Is your mother staying with you? What's the situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on there to make sure they're legit. And it's a protection for the woman. So that's actually naturally how it would happen.
That's what's up.
So that's interesting that you say that because I don't think I shared this with you guys, but the other ladies knew. So my boyfriend that passed was Muslim, right? And so we had no issues because honestly, the conversation that you're talking about, I was raised Christian, but I have no religious nothing. I'm just a spiritual person. When I met him, I was just a spiritual person. We talked about all those things when our first 3 dates, right? And next thing I knew, we done moved in together. We talking about getting married. When we get married, what's happening? But it just
very quick,
right? But I didn't want no kids. He didn't want any more. He already had children. That was the space that we were in, and it just worked very well because we were very open and honest with each other about life.
Yeah,
he met my family. I met his family. We were just very open, and so I love to hear how it's supposed to happen. Because the interesting thing is my very best friend ended up marrying a Muslim, and all of us all used to hang together as a group. And now he was raised Muslim, but his dad was converted, right? When he was Christian, and they just allowed their children to choose, right? Whatever they decided. So it's interesting to hear all the different dynamics of relationships, because I know that you could have two separate religions and have it. They've been married for if Ak is golly, he 40 something. His oldest sister, they've been married a long time, long.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I think it's mostly it's the principles, the conversation that you have, all of those things before you get into dating, or get into the other part. And I love that you said that it wasn't about the love, because I'm a Capricorn and I'm very strategic. I don't be thinking about the love part. I be thinking is this a good partner? Is this a good partner mate? Can we build something together? What can we do? And then if I love you, then it just makes it better. But probably why I'm probably single at the moment, because I don't be thinking about the love. I'm what can we
do
together? What can this unit do together?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even a bad thing, though. I don't think. I think because, just listening to you talk, reflecting, I've always thought about the love. You know what I mean? And maybe that's why I'm single right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I put the feelings first, not first per se. I want to know if we're compatible and everything like that. But is there a spark? Are we going to be you know what I mean? Is there romance? Is there going to be, I'm an 80s, grew up in the 80s, Cosby Show, type of stuff. That's what I'm trying my best to be Felicia Rashad. I don't know if
doing it, girl.
Blair Huxtable and to make it.
You
somebody get me, you know what I mean? Cliff. I want, you know what I mean? I want
you do.
It's what it is. So for me, I think that's interesting. So it's sure.
I want Uncle Phil.
Reflecting. What?
I said I want Uncle Phil. If you want
Uncle Phil.
I want Uncle Phil.
All that. Viv was happy, okay?
Right?
Viv was happy.
I'm on Viv.
I don't care if it was chocolate Viv or light skin Viv. All the Viv.
Oh, nice.
But I want to be chocolate and Viv. Let me just throw that out there. I want to be chocolate.
I'm light skin, so I don't care. But I just still wanted love. But it makes me reflect, to see, am I thinking about love too much? You know what I'm saying? Am I thinking about?
The thing about that.
How does it make me feel? Too much?
My parents have been married 26 years. And they weren't necessarily in love when they got married. They, let's see. Let me tell my parents' story. They dated, but then they both converted to Islam, so they stopped dating. And then after a couple of years of them both being, Muslims very active with it, I think they started officially courting in January, February of '95, and then they got married in July of the same year. And then they had me a year and a half later. And so they already knew each other, but they weren't necessarily in love when they got married. And that's another reason why a lot of Muslim marriages can happen very quickly. I'm talking about months.
About love.
It's not necessarily about the love. And it's also the emotional sides of love can cloud our minds, really being able to make the right judgment on whether or not
She hit that
this
T
is the
hard.
thing that you
She hit that T hard.
you know, you be so in love, and you know, you'll be with the person for the love, but then, you know, I mean,
they crazy. Just say it. Just say it. They crazy. They doing crazy stuff.
Crashes down.
It's not even that. It's not even about crazy though. That's the thing. It's not. I mean, we all probably got a bit of craziness. I mean, come on, but it's not necessarily that. The love is why you may be there. It'll be the compatibility be the reason why you like wondering what's going on. Yeah. I understand this. You was cute, but the rent not being paid, and that's not cute. I don't understand.
It was looking real.
Oh, get real serious, real quick.
I mean, you know that you know, you was fine, but see, I got this fine. It's not being paid. You know, like it's stuff like that, and you start looking into, well, can I actually be with you? But then now you're already there. Now you moved in, or now you got children. Now you have all these dynamics that make it difficult. Now, I read this book. It's called The Defining Decade. I forget the woman's name. But one of the things she wrote in there was how it was one of her, she's a psychologist. And, you know, she's talking about situations she's had with, you know, her previous clients. And so one of their clients was in a relationship with this person. And they was just together. They was really into each other, you know, sexually active, all that stuff. But then now they just in this relationship, and it's just kind of, they don't really know what's going on, but they just there and they're just comfortable, and they still got the lease. So it's kind of like, well, if I break up, then I gotta move, then I gotta find a new space, so I gotta move back in with my mom. Oh, what about the dog? Oh, what about, you know, all these reasons become the reason why you don't do anything. And it seems like you're in a relationship, but you're really just in a convenient thing. I don't know what to call it, you know, a convenient ship, whatever. And the love would just, you know, ain't no love in that. At that point, it just becomes convenient, or you stay for the children, but y'all really weren't compatible to begin with. But you were so deep into the emotions of it. You didn't, because the thing is, we be knowing. We be knowing. You know. You got the idea. It comes up at some point. You know that this probably really, it's just, but I love him. You know, or you know, the sex is good, however you want to say it, you know, whatever's going on, that'd be the reason why you stay. I mean, I don't mean to go on that, I just feel like that's the truth, you know. That'd be a reason why we'll stay, and that'll be the reason why we'll try to continue pushing something forward that should never maybe started to begin with. Yeah. I feel like that went real deep for a second. So
it did. But it was good though. It was good.
That was necessary to be said though.
That's why I love having these conversations around love and around relationships and things to get other perspectives, because I know, like, when I talk with my girlfriends, we get it deep just like this. This is how we have our conversations. But as you said something about we stayed because of like sex or whatever like that. I had the opposite conversation. Like, what if everything else good and that's not good? So, you know, we
can't stay then.
Because everything else is good. Everything else is 100. I can't be worried about that. Like, that's not, I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
But if everything else is good,
yeah, like everything else, meaning like like y'all relationship is good, y'all compatible.
It works.
Things, right?
It's like 80-20. It's like the 80-20. Like, you're gonna get 80%. Like that 20%.
Right. And if the 20% just happen to fall on that part,
you're just gonna have to make do. You just got to
make a decision.
And here's the question though. Here's the question I'm gonna pose to everybody. Is it the reason that we harp on those things because we've had so many experiences, right? Instead of actually, you know, investing the time in whatever it was in that person, like into the person, instead of like having all of the experiences, right? So I guess the best way to say it is like, you know, for like American women or whatever, right? You're gonna have, you know, you probably have multiple partners in your lifespan of your life, right? Whereas someone I'm gonna use Muslim just for this example, right? But in a traditional household, right, or in an Indian household, or anything like that, it's like they only know like that one person, or
I haven't had multiple experiences.
Possibly 2 people, you know what I mean? So like, the
Mm.
stuff never really comes into play because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, y'all? Like, you know what I mean? Like having multiple experiences to find out what you do and don't like. You feel like you just
let a man tell it. He gonna say, I gotta test drive that thing before I get in there because I don't know how it's, I'm sorry, Nick, I didn't mean that towards you. But from what I've heard from most of the men that I have had these conversations with, right? They're like, I gotta test drive that thing before I know, you know, what I'm getting into. Me, I'm like, well, you know, like I said, if everything else is good, we just gonna have to deal with what we got to deal with. It be all right. We got a whole partnership happening over here. And because I'm thinking about, you know, what can we build and grow together? These are important things. Can we do this for the long haul? Are we just here just because? Like, you know.
I think as I aged, that's where I got to be. Like it got, you know what I mean? Like love got to be like less of a, you know, I'm Pisces, so everything to me is romance. Well, I'm not trying to get all astrological or anything on this, but whatever. That. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly. Like I'm so like.
On my report, are y'all ready to?
Okay.
I did get the report, and I did start reading them. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. We ain't gotta talk about it. Let's not go deep.
We'll be ready. I can't wait. But like I just, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if not being, you know what I'm saying? It's just like as far as me being so into love, like it's not something that I'm not looking for that just anymore. Like you know, it'll come, but it's not so much like about the spark. Obviously there has to be a spark for you all to even be able to, well, the way that I meet people, not because not out of like a, you know what I mean? Like out of Muslim culture where it's more plain, but like, you know, you meet people, you have a spark, things, you know, fly, like you start to feel each other, you want to talk, you know, it goes, whatever. But it's just.
Brooke?
So I was married.
Oh.
We learned something new.
So maybe.
See why Khadirah was trying to be in your business? Because let me get comfortable. Let me get real comfortable.
Remind me of somebody. It's the sister in the mosque. You remind me exactly of her. That's how I was, you know.
I know. Let's get in your business. Now you done told us the business.
You done told us. Come on.
I know.
Business.
And I was married to a white guy.
Oh, the plot thickens.
I did not see that plot twist.
That plot twist for us.
I just gotta chime in. It's not even about the conversation. It's just Brooke's laugh, man. That just took me out just now. I'm not even looking at the screen, and I could tell that was Brooke that laughed like that.
Oh,
all right, back to y'all.
That's because she laughed from her soul. Like
okay.
She laughed like in here, in her soul.
I do.
Oh, man.
Even my friends make fun of me. They're always like, I can find you as long as you're laughing. I can find you in a crowded room.
That's good. Yeah.
Now back to this white man and you
Yeah,
getting married.
Right.
Let's get back to that.
Because you thought we was gone.
I wasn't gonna let y'all forget.
Now back.
His name is Dusty. He
Wait a minute.
I want to get up and walk away. But I just need to let y'all, I'm not even gonna hold it because Astoria is.
Are you messing with us? Brooke, are you messing with us?
No, my whole face was like,
is this screen?
My whole face was like, his name Dusty, like a redneck Dusty,
like word. You just gonna keep the hits going. Come, the hits just keep coming, huh?
Bring me the rest of the information.
Every time I think it's a little bit, the bowl,
No.
it keeps deep and deep.
Come on with it. Come on, bro.
Okay,
you married a Dusty. You married a Dusty. You married Dusty. Let me stop.
I'm married a Dusty.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm taking it too far. Too much.
Too soon? Too soon? Too soon.
I'm sorry.
First show for the panel.
We're not even close like that. And I shouldn't have did that.
We are close. No, I felt love.
Be careful because I'm an only child. I really will. Just say stuff.
You don't,
It
know,
was
you don't
all
have
in
no
love.
filter. You know,
Brooke
you don't
took
know
that in
when you don't know
love.
when to stop.
Brooke-
You don't know when not to say anything.
It's all right. It's all right.
Sorry,
Yeah,
y'all.
man.
Sometimes I think I'm quiet because I'm just controlling.
Just because she's not saying nothing don't mean she's quiet.
Hold on.
She gonna mute herself. You know what? I'm gonna mute too, so I can get this story. Mhm.
Right? Where is the mute?
Okay. Yes, Dusty, he and I both worked at Time Warner. When I met him, I was going to school. I was working 2 jobs and going to school. And I thought he kind of, understood, like, we thought we were on the same path and had the same end goal. Like, my LinkedIn says future billionaire. That's where I'm at. So he was future 9 to 5, working regular job. And I was like, oh, so when you talk about questions you don't ask, we knew a whole lot about each other, but we met in August at a friend's house, playing poker. I took all his money and he had to buy back in. And then, okay, we're gonna fit a story, okay. I took all of his money, he had to buy back in. Our first official date was in September. By Christmas, we were engaged, and then we got married in March.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Let me mute back.
No, come back. Stay here.
So like, what year was this? Like this was recent? Like
20, yeah.
27?
07?
2007? 2000?
Yeah. 2000, not 17, 2007.
Okay.
How can I ask how long it lasts?
Yeah, we were married for about 9, almost 10 years.
Whoa.
You was so young. You didn't even know what you wanted in life. I mean,
I did.
Right.
I don't know. You knew you wanted to be a future billionaire. That's for sure.
I did kind of know I wanted to live, yes.
A certain lifestyle.
Yes, ma'am.
She done quieted us down.
Brooke got it like that,
Got it.
She got it like
she
that.
done shushed the panel. She done
I mean,
shushed
that's
us.
future billionaire. She gotta have a way with people.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, she got me shook. Okay, because I'm like,
I was not ready.
I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready for that.
The person that I think Brooke is, now this is the person I formulated in my mind from our conversations, okay, is she don't F with white people like that. She them because she got to do business with them, but she don't really like them like that. They just over there. They just live in society, but not a part of her society. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
So,
in my head, that's who I made up in my head now from our prior conversation.
Let me tell you that is who I am now. But I started out like Nisha, like grew around white people, hanging out with the white kids. There were only so many Black kids in my grade school, right? And our classrooms were predominantly, actually they were predominantly Black, but it was definitely a white neighborhood, a white suburb of Chicago. So we were, the proper speaking suburbs, like Black kids, yes, but
y'all was the uppity Black children.
We was the uppity Black children. We were.
Listen. I
Got
understand.
it.
Interesting. Can I ask
It's something, I'm gonna just say this. It's something about you people that live above the Mason-Dixon line. It's just something about y'all up there. Like all of y'all up there. Even if y'all came from the South, the people that's up there, they different. They just different. Like everybody, like all of y'all, just different. I don't know what it is, but it's something about just like any people that I met from like the North. I just be like, I wouldn't have thought that. But and then I realized that you ain't really from the South, and I be like, you know what? That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's
And the finger on
It's
it.
a southern thing to say.
Look, I'm like, really? Now I feel ostracized or something. Like,
No,
did you see my
okay.
face the whole time? Like, wait, what?
No, it's
I
okay.
didn't laugh.
It's so
I
amazing.
wasn't laughing. I want to
Let me-
laugh back with the group.
Okay, let me put perspective. Okay, let me put perspective.
Okay.
So, to me, from my 35 years of life, right? Backstory: my parents are from Mississippi. They from the South, right?
South. Okay.
My grandmother's family, some of them moved to Chicago, right? So we have family in Chicago, family in New York, or whatever. But Southern people. My mother's dad is biracial, right? So white mama, black daddy. She was raised as a slave, so she was raised around like the slave people with it, like the sharecroppers. So she thought she was black, right? Anyway, her name Nancy. So you got this happening. Parent household that both went to first integrated like high schools and stuff, right? So like Southern life is just different from Northern people. Like what we see and what we learn is totally different from what a Northern experience is. Like my experiences of racism are different because our racism was blunt, like in your face, like bam, here you go.
Now you don't get the subtle up here.
Yours is subtle, more microaggressions, that type of, right? So you tolerate white people differently as a Northerner above the Mason-Dixon line than as a Southerner tolerates white people. Now, I'll give you more perspective. I live in Texas, okay? We think we our own continent, our own country, okay? Special. Didn't
y'all try to split from the U.S.?
How many times?
Yeah.
How many times? We learned in U.S. First of all, if you didn't learn in Texas history at least about 17,000 times that Texas has tried to succeed from the States 17,000 times.
I'm talking about the most recent one.
I'm not there yet. The most recent time probably being like 2017 or something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. We crazy. So I got this Southern thing happening, then I got this crazy Texas thing happening.
Compounded.
Compounded.
Multiplied.
Because we're raised to think everything is bigger and better in Texas. No one is better than Texas. Texas is like the most amazing continent, country in the most amazing world, right? Although okay, but I'm just saying the dynamic is different. Like we have legit racism. Like it ain't we ain't sugarcoating it. We don't like you, boy. Man, stay in your place, old boy. Y'all. Our tolerance of things is totally different. So now I can understand why you would be like, oh, well, we were the only people. And I'm like, no, I was around the only people. I went to a white high school, but when I went home, I was out in the street with my peoples, like.
I know so much about, I spent a lot of time around Jews. Like I know how to set a Passover table. I know mad Hanukkah songs. I've been to Hanukkah traditions. I'm so serious.
You be saying Yiddish,
and all
Yiddish words and stuff?
Huh?
Do you speak Yiddish, a little bit of Yiddish?
No, I know how to tell somebody to go take a poop in the ocean in Yiddish, gay cock and off and yam, but that's how you tell somebody to do that. But you know what I'm saying? Like my best friend was Tanya. I would spend holidays with her. Like one year, like I spent over like Hanukkah. I would go over like all 8 nights. We were chilling. Then she came and spent Christmas with us. Like different stuff. Like I know mad stuff about just Jewish culture. Like they make what's that matzah? They chop up apples and pour grape juice in it and put it on a matzah cracker. I'm tearing it up. It's good for some reason, but like you know what I'm saying. Like I just was around Jews, and I just grew up like that. Not that they were like the predominant population, but that was just my life. You know what I'm saying? So I am way more, like I guess I am, way more tolerant of a lot of things, or I wouldn't I've never made excuses, but
Right.
I always my thing now as an adult was like, yo, I'm really grateful for the white people I grew up around because y'all would be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like if it wasn't for the good couple of good white folks that I know that I grew up with that were, you know, have been kind to me that I can remember from and be like, other than that, like when anything kind of social injustice goes down and I get ready to post, it's sensitive because I have a lot of white friends. So before I want to hit the keyboard and be like, it's always like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I can express myself, but I also be like, I know y'all, some, you know what I mean? Y'all are out there and y'all are, okay, I get it. But right now, like right now, when my heart is hurting over my people, like over, you know what I mean? Like my lineage, like over who I am, my blood, like it gets a little bit, it's kind of, sometimes it's very hard. It's very, very hard, no matter how you were brought up. Like it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? But once you explain that, I can understand what's completely and totally, and we different. You're right. We can tolerate some different
I can understand it. Yeah.
Which is why northern people are like, well, Jews understand.
You disagree, Secretary?
Oh, no, I didn't say I disagree. I actually fully understand. You know, just I'm from Ohio, like this is
right.
Yeah.
I'm raised in the Nation of Islam.
It's like, oh yeah.
I'm raised in a very Muslim Black household, so it's like, I've only been around Black people, but we're also around a bunch of white people. So it's like I understand. I can understand what that looks like. It's not necessarily strange to me, you know, for me to hear that, or the toleration up here is, you know, it's like we, you know, but they may not just go out and call you boy.
Right.
Not gonna do that.
Yeah.
They won't necessarily do that, but microaggressions definitely will happen. And you know, the rest of it, what's it called? Red line and all that stuff gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's honestly, I'd rather you say it to my face. So that way there's no confusion, because that's the thing. And this is probably getting off topic, but when you tolerate it for so long, then we get into that space where we think, oh, but you like us. But that's not it. You know, it's just a toleration because that's just what it is up here. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we or they or even we like you.
Right.
You know, or we accept you. You know, you know, they ain't gonna necessarily call us Blacks in that way. You know, but they're very specific when they say African American, and it's like, you're not the full American, you're just the African. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it's definitely a separation right there, but it's more subtle, which allows us to be tricked so much easier and to think that we're accepted in spaces where we're not.
Where we're not, because we're really not. You know what I'm saying? Like they just tolerated you. Like they tolerated me, I think, in certain, you know what I'm saying? In certain, just how I said, my brother's only 7 years older than me. So he wasn't allowed, same town, we ain't moved. He wasn't allowed in these people's house. Yep. What makes me think it's some people up here whose house I'm not allowed in just a few years later? Like, come, you know what I'm saying? Like some people don't want me around. Like you don't want me around just based on who I am. I'm trying to find this picture. I don't know how I could put it up here to share it, but it's a picture of me. I'm like about maybe like 7, 8 years old. I'm at a birthday party. You would think it was my birthday party, but I'm surrounded by all little white girls, and I'm the only little chocolate chip in the back, like just like, and it is just, it's hilarious. But like that was my life. Like
only little chocolate drop in the sea of milk.
Always that one little chocolate drop.
You know, I just don't understand. But I got it now. I got it. It's the Northerners. It's the Northerners.
The Northern culture.
Because, honey, we know what we stand down here, baby. We know where we ain't supposed to go. We know who we ain't gonna do. We ain't got no. I ain't got no problem with knowing if you like me or you don't like me, because I already know you don't like me. So we gonna be all right.
And that's for me. There's some places like I'll go where I want to go, but there's some places I'm not going in.
Oh, no,
like, I don't even look like it. That don't even look melanin friendly. Like I'm not even going to approach I'm not asking for no directions. I don't want to use the bathroom. I'm
I mean,
not coming out of there.
It's one of
They're
those
gonna
places.
sell my organs. There's some
Yeah.
shit going down.
It's a fun downtown. You're supposed to go straight through. You don't stop.
Straight through.
None of that. No, that's real. My daddy's a bus driver, so he knows like a lot of the parts of the city, in the state. And it's certain places. He's like, look, straight through. Don't stop. Get the gas before you go through. Don't stop. You just know we don't stop on that side of town. If anything go wrong, you need to call somebody. And it's like, you know, if I gotta call the Muslims, brothers are gonna show up and it's gonna be a problem. You know, like it'll
Malcolm X style.
Now, baby, that's what I do know about the Muslim community. Baby, they shows up, okay?
Oh yeah.
They shows up.
They shows up.
Just be black, you know. Be fine. Call in, you see somebody in a bow tie, you know, with the brothers on the corner with the papers.
Yeah.
They'll come.
So I know this is kind of like off subject, but I just like to say this. You know, the nation is totally different from being Islam. That's what I took. like I need y'all to remember, like, the black men gonna show up, but the nation of Islam, the NOI is different from being Muslim. So I'm just throwing that out there for whoever like listening or watching that may not know that there's a difference. I'm just saying, because some people really don't know. They really don't. They think it's
not really a difference, but a culture. It's a different backing, if you'll say, but it's
different backing.
It's the same book.
Oh no, I didn't mean like that. I didn't mean the structure. I meant like structurally, not the actual book. Not actual teachings, but like meaning like so for example, when you see a guy from Nation of Islam, they just move differently from Islamic Indian man. If that's what I mean, like that.
Oh, you mean like it's more orthodox.
There you go. Thank you. You know, okay. I'm just saying that there's two. It's the same religion, but the way it's. I don't want to say structured for the word, lack of a better word.
Different entities or organizations.
You know how there's different denominations.
And,
there you go.
You say it like that.
Because Nation of Islam is more for the black people. It's for the black man. It's for the blacks.
Oh, okay.
The way
eat to live, not live to eat. You know.
Yeah.
You got a whole eat to live. Yeah, that's a book. Eat to live.
Yep. Yeah. It sure is. Eat to live. Yep. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie now. I do follow me a little Nation man. I be wanting to chat with him, but I ain't gonna chat with him though. I don't know where he at.
You know what? I need to.
He too popular in the nation. He too popular. And if I say his name, you'll know.
Don't do that.
Nick reaching for a book. We about to learn something. Nick reaching for a book. I saw him look back.
Hey, don't let me get my books. Now look now. If you want some books, I will get you some books. But y'all not gonna outdo me on the books now.
They not ready.
You know when he turned around and hit that book.
Listen,
he's gonna find something.
I got me a Quran, so I'm okay. Look.
You keep editions too.
Okay.
Oh, Nick, you real.
You got those on Freeway Drive? You got them from the brother on Freeway Drive?
Nick, how many bean pies you got?
Yeah.
See, I was gonna say that, but I was like,
I need to see one of my.
We got a spot where you could pull up on the street. It's a whole tent. Nick knows what I'm talking about. Pure Love bean pies. You could pull right up. It's the tent. They out there. It don't matter what season it is.
Yeah.
That bean pie is everything. You pour up and get that bean pie.
That's how we bring you in, you know?
What is it about the bean pies?
You can't tell me nothing about bean pie. Put it in the oven, put some butter on top of that joint, put some
ice cream.
And the ice cream. I was getting there. A bean pie.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the perfect. If you want a perfect Muslim set dinner, navy bean soup, cream of wheat. I mean, this is a spread I do for myself, just me. Navy bean soup, cream of wheat, get some carrot fluff, okay? Get the bean pie, get your, we'll set you up. Oh,
I do like navy beans though.
Me too, I love navy beans.
Let me tell you something, Ramadan coming up.
I made some the other day.
If you want to eat, come feast with us during Ramadan. You don't even gotta fast, just come through.
So,
I fasted for Ramadan before. I don't know why everybody was doing it at work.
But what
Everybody
else can I eat?
I definitely.
You can eat other stuff. That's just.
I'm like, well, I don't eat meat at all. So I'm like, what can I eat?
Do you eat? I mean, a lot of us are vegetarian. So.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I mean, we still use, if you're vegan, we still use, butter and milk and all that. But a lot of it is vegetarian. We don't really eat a lot of meat, honestly.
We'll be right back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, after this message. Stay tuned.
Everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach. I want to invite you to our masterclass and teach you the pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money and peace of mind, so you can come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. What is that masterclass going to do for you? It's going to help you create your Black history success story. I'm going to teach you how to create consumer debt freedom, earn an 800 credit score. I'm going to teach you how to pay off your home in 5 to 7 years. I'm going to teach you how to create passive income of $8,333 a month by acquiring businesses, acquiring real estate, and leveraging the tax laws. I'm also going to throw in our family finance 101 course, 3 hours, 18 modules. I'm going to give you our best-selling book, ABCs of Wealth, The Common Sense Strategy of Achieving American Dream. And as a special bonus, I'm going to give you 3 consultations live with DJ the Money Coach, Melvin Hobson, our registered investment advisor of 18 years, and James Lane Jr., our CPA over 7 years. And all you have to do is say, get me free to create Black History with DJ Money. That's right. Get me free, create Black History with DJ Money. Hit the link and you get over $3,000 worth of value for less than $200 to celebrate Black History, and come join me on the Beaches of the World Club with DJ Money in the master class.
The statistics are out, and they are saying that Black men are more present in their children's lives than any other group in America.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really glad to hear that.
That's a great solid statistic.
I don't think I ever doubted that. I think that it was always skewed to begin with and made it seem like that. So.
Because it's easier to sell Black men not being present. So we can say deadbeat daddy all over,
right.
And what's the word? Label them.
Right.
It's no money in us telling you, well, no, stuff is out there.
Right.
It's no money in saying that.
Right.
That's the thing. When it comes to the reality versus the social media, it's the money. And it's not about the immediate money necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It's the long term. Because if they can control what we feed ourselves, that controls how we respond to what we've been fed.
Exactly.
I really believe we're going to hear a transition in like our music and everything coming up. I believe like our rappers soon are going to start. You don't think so? I really believe that we're going to start to hear a difference in some of it.
Let me tell you why. The Jews run it, boo. It's a white Jewish man up there telling them what they can and cannot play, what they can and cannot do. The only way the music industry is going to change is if all the artists pull out of that and only be on streaming services and things like that. And because they entice them with deals the same way they do our athletes,
360
boys, stuff like that. As long as the enticement is there for them to get this money, right? It's not gonna change like that. Because it's not enough princes, and God rest Prince, all them is in Prince. It's not enough princes, Kendrick, Michael Jackson, J. Cole. It's not enough of them out here. Jay-Z isn't. Jay-Z even got a little something, right? But what I'm saying is it's not enough of change. It's not enough change agents out here saying, a young boy, don't go do this, don't do that.
Point taken.
Like, they hate on what is that boy name that he's gay, but he be enticing them with the road.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X, yeah.
Him, right?
Yeah.
Now he could make some things change but they're not gonna listen to him because they think he's young and he don't know what he's doing. But he antagonizes people on purpose. Like if you actually pay attention to what he does, He's like, yep, I already sold my money. I already got my records. I'm doing what I'm doing, blah, 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 whatever. But he antagonized the hell out of these people, right? Don't keep giving them the money because that's what sells, right? The mayhem, the misconception, the whole
controversy.
It's not gonna. The controversy is what sells. Like, oh, he was pregnant on his whatever. He was pregnant with an album. Like y'all took that to a whole nother level. What he was saying was, I'm birthing an album. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with him saying that. But what does a typical person see? Oh my God, now men gonna start having babies, and then it's the controversy.
TD Jakes says it. TD Jakes says it all the time. Tell him it's the baby. The baby's coming. When you got an idea, tell them about, you know what I mean? Tell them that look at your name and tell them that the baby is coming. When you got an idea, like you're gonna birth that, tell them that the baby's coming. I've definitely heard TD Jakes say it before. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But the way he portrayed it made it seem like it was a whole you see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
The industry. When it comes to like that part, I don't think it's gonna change. Now, do I think that we have some great artists out here that are dropping some really great, I think some good R&B music is coming back. There's some really good stuff happening, but we just got to go out there and find it, to be honest. Like, it's not something that is like just readily available, or it has to get popular on TikTok by the white people, and then it becomes like a thing, right? So, because at the end of the day,
like a thing,
white man still run every single music company you could think of. You can name any single one of them. It might be a black head over there. It might be a black person that's, you know, the figurehead.
The receptionist desk.
Get you, but start doing some research and see who own it. Who owns Sony and Live Nation and all this? It ain't us. We make some damn good money, but it ain't us.
Never.
But anyways, I digress. I'm sorry.
It could shift if it doesn't. I mean, it could change if it stops selling. I guess maybe like wishful thinking or whatever like that, but like, I feel you. I definitely see a point on the shutdown. Like, no, sis.
You know what I will say? I think there is a shift in us realizing we're gonna need our own spaces to really tell our own stories.
Mm-hmm.
Every culture outside of ours tells their own story. They have their own narrative, and they play it very, very well. And they're not afraid to play their narrative.
And their narrative doesn't get squashed or appropriated.
Exactly.
That part.
It ran 100%. You know, it's always ran 100%. And so for us to have the same results, we have to own our narrative. And that means own everything in the supply chain. You know, it has to be absolutely, what's it called? Losing the word, vertically integrated, whatever that, you know, when on every single stage of the supply chain. Come on, Valor. Every single stage of the supply chain, you know, in order, we have to, I don't want to say own, but
yeah,
no, we gotta own.
We gotta own.
But I mean, you know, we have to own the actors, we have to own the script, we have to own the streaming station, we have to own the network, we have to own all the production, we have to own the distribution, we have to own, you know, even to the degree the devices that these things are being, you know, streamed on. You know, the entire stage of it all. And so I think that, to me, that's the shift that I kind of see, because this generation, I'm thinking like late Gen X to millennials to the Gen Z people, right? And everybody else in between who just sees what's going on, we're way less tolerant of just like the go along to get them on type thing. Because we so much see how that didn't work for our parents. It ain't working for them. I don't understand why I'm doing it. And we also understand that we have nothing to lose.
Right.
Because, you know, that's why we don't stay at jobs like that. You know, you get 1 to 2 years out of me. You ain't paying me more, I'm out of there. You know, the loyalty isn't there like that. We'll switch it up to something else.
Final thoughts, ladies. Let's just say like what our final thoughts are on like Black love and how we feel, you know, we're moving forward, and then we'll just kind of close it out and start a new whatever for I guess sometime.
Black love. Yeah, man. Black love is not only the love of the Black man, but it's the love of yourself, of your culture, your ancestry, and everything that people put you down for in Blackness is owning that and knowing that they are jealous, they hate us because they ain't us.
Put that on a shirt.
Okay. Who next?
Okay. Nisha, you next. I'm picking you.
Oh man, I just feel, look, I'm the romantic. It's just I just want everybody to know that it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are great Black men, there are great Black women. We are here providing great foundations for one another. Like, there are safe havens within each other for us to come and unpack, like how we were talking about in the beginning. Like I don't know, like, I'm not trying to tell everybody, like, don't explore outside your race, but don't explore outside your race. Like, start with us first. Like, just like, you know what I mean? Like, start at home. Start at home, and because don't be afraid because of what, like, society and everything has made us feel or think that what Black love is. Like, it's just hard, you know what I mean? Men in wife beaters and all kinds of, you know what I mean? Like, just ugly. It's not. It's beautiful. There are very kind Black men. There are very supportive and loving Black women. And there are relationships out there that can be built to uplift each other within our race and within our culture. We're here, you know what I mean? The good ones are out here. We're out here. Look, we out here. Like, I'm stop.
I'm gonna say my two things. One, I'm gonna tell you what Iyanla book is gonna say. You can't teach nobody how to love you. You can see how they love, right? And choose whether or not you want to deal with those things. That's what Iyanla would say. What that means is you need to love yourself and know how you want to treat yourself, because that's how you're going to treat someone else outside of that. With that type of love. So honestly, not paying attention to what somebody thinks that love is supposed to be, and defining what your own definition of love is, and finding that with that person is what's gonna get you, what you want. And so it's not that it's not good Black men or good Black women out here. It's once you figure out what you want, you start attracting those type of people. Like, I always was like, man, I'm gonna have to accept the fact that if I am with a man, I'm gonna have to find a man that already have kids, right? Or majority in my age range have kids. Every single man I'm dating at the moment, none of them have children. So it's one of those things. Once you change your mindset, you change your atmosphere and what you are around and what you want into yourself, for yourself. Those things start approaching themselves. They start appearing, or you actually start seeing those things to be your reality. And my last thing I'm gonna leave y'all with for real is I'm reading this book right now. That's Bell Hooks, y'all. This all about love. Just so happy we was talking about it. I just want you to know there's so much to unpack in this book. Okay, I'm very. I just need y'all to know it's some really unpacking happening in this book. So, but that's for a whole nother topic and a whole nother day. So,
okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. My last thoughts really is just the negatives are sold to you. And don't be so quick to, in my opinion, judge, the Black man or the Black woman based on purely social media foolishness, as I would say it. The reality is we're made for each other. We always have. We was the first ones here, and the last ones to go. There is a time to go, and so we are absolutely worthy of having our own positive Black love experience. And the narratives that you see online, they're just sold to you. They're just sold to you all the way through. Just like the other sister said, there's good Black men and good Black women out there for you everywhere. They're very out here. just go and look for them. And that's it.
All right. Is that everybody? Did everybody go?
Well,
All right, beautiful conversation, ladies. Before we get out of here, I got that picture that Nisha wanted to show you all, so I can throw that up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can throw that up real quick if y'all still want to see that.
Show and tell with Nisha.
Oh yeah. Oh, we know it's you, girl. Oh yeah, that's you.
We know it's you.
But let me say this though. Let me say this. If you wanted to, you could go for passing. If you just
You really could.
you know what? I ain't got time.
It's not even. We're just saying. But it's okay.
I look like a white kid.
No. What I'm saying,
you could try.
What I'm saying is, you know how back in the day,
Queen.
Black people used to pass.
Alexander's queen. She
Yes.
passed.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying you could pass. Like
You passed the paper bag test.
You passed
I
the
don't want
test.
to.
Yeah.
If you want to.
She said, I don't want to. I ain't want to take it.
Yeah.
I didn't even apply.
I just want to be black, blackity black.
Black. My skin so black.
I don't want to just pass.
Okay.
I hear that. Yeah. Well, this was definitely an amazing conversation. I know the people are gonna love it, and they're gonna tune in, and I'm sure everyone's looking forward to the next one. And
You were worried we would need topics.
Yeah, right. So in closing, I'll just echo what Khadirah said about not buying into what they're selling you on social media. And when she says selling isn't always monetary. We also know that attention is the biggest form of currency that there is. And I've been seeing a lot of people getting bent out of shape, having these debates on social media about really silly, low-hanging things. And I'm like, really, like people are having, black men and black women are having debates about, who should pay, for the date and all that, and all sorts of, nonsense like that. And if you just go outside, and observe your surroundings and stay in your lane too. Like, people be complaining about people that they shouldn't even be dealing with, stay in your lane. If you just do that, you'll realize that the reality doesn't match up with what you're seeing on social media. And then just another thing, just one last piece that
Kevin Samuels.
We ain't even.
Y'all gonna have a whole nother show on that. So just another thing that I saw funny a few years ago on social media, people were all getting all googly-eyed and emotional over Jay-Z and Beyonce, and then someone just commented on the picture, they're just having breakfast.
Right.
Everybody out acting all crazy, like, oh, this is all goals. Oh, look, they're just having breakfast.
Just having breakfast.
So just relax, everybody. Where can everybody find y'all? We go ahead and promote yourselves first, and then we'll close out.
Y'all can find me on Instagram only. Oh, on TikTok too, but Instagram mostly. Miss Story. My Twitter is Miss Story. My TikTok's Miss Story. Everything's Miss Story. Business page is I Am Queen. So THEIAMQUEEN hair. So if you are looking for, Reiki, spiritual healing, I add that into my hair services. That's pretty much what I do. And on my personal page, you get a little bit of everything. So I cook, I pickle onions, I juice. I do a lot of holistic things. But at heart, I'm a educator, so hairstylist, barber. That's me.
Awesome. Find Valorit on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget, don't just import it, Valorit.
I am, you can find me on Instagram at Geeky Niche, like geek, like a geeky niche, N-E-S-H. On YouTube, The Grounded Entrepreneur. A lot of good things coming this year. I'm excited about my YouTube channel. So, and then, yeah, that's basically it. On Facebook, I'm Nisha Howell. I don't have necessarily a business page over there, but most of the time, you just find me on Instagram at Geeky Niche, and same on Twitter.
Y'all can find me if you just Google Khadirah Muhammad. You can find my website, khadirah.com, at Khadirah Muhammad on everything, and get me up there. Yep.
All right. Once again, thank you all, ladies, for coming on and sharing your insights. And as always, we wish the viewers out there, and we wish our lovely panelists of ladies right here a pom-pom lifestyle. That is plenty of money, peace of mind, and we want you all to come join us on the beaches of the world. And your beach may not be next to sand or water, but your beach is where you find your personal tranquility, your peace of mind, and your real Black love. We will see you on the next episode on Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. Peace.
If you are serious about learning how to command your money instead of your money commanding you, Duransburg Jr., who we all know as DJ the Money Coach, is the person for the job. So I decided to take him on as my money coach after being in an 18-year marriage and leaving with just the clothes on my back. And after the many years of earning a very livable wage as a nurse, but not living very well on the money I earned because I didn't know how to effectively use my money for the betterment of my family. And so here I was, this middle-aged woman who had so many financial mistakes over the years, feeling stuck and even hopeless. And the only way out I saw was prayer. Well, apparently prayer, or my prayers, were answered when I saw a video of DJ the Money Coach as a guest speaker on one of my favorite YouTube content creators' channel. My attention was immediately drawn to him as he told his own story about pulling himself out of that same sunken place I felt like I could never get out of. It was truly inspiring. But the icing on the cake for me was that not only because of his many years of experience working with governments and Fortune 1000 companies teaching financial education, but that he is linked to some very heavy hitters in the financial education arena. That pretty much sealed the deal for me, knowing that he didn't mind reaching back to help those of us who otherwise would have just continued to go through our everyday money struggles. So on our second meeting, DJ the Money Coach went over a risk tolerance questionnaire with me in order to deliver a financial analysis custom made for me. So with him, there is no one size fits all, and he is independent, meaning he can deliver more and cater to where you are right now. His 7 spheres of money system is definitely putting me on track towards financial freedom in the near future. His system is my lifeline I needed to pull me out of a drowning pool of debt and predatory lending. Also, having to report my spending to him every week is training me how to become more disciplined in my spending habits. So I want to take this time out to thank you, Duransburg Jr., aka DJ the Money Coach, for all that you have done for me thus far in this short period of time having been introduced to you. You are definitely the GOAT, and I'm looking forward to the future ahead.